Okay. Hi, this is Dina Moskowitz, and I'm CEO of Partner Optimizer. I'm also the host of Ecosystem Chronicles, and this is an episode all about ecosystem orchestration. Now, we're at Hyatt Regency in Chicago right now at the Partnership Leaders Catalyst Conference on the show floor. And there's quite the buzz around here. And a lot of partner tech is here, and a lot of partnership leaders are here, and some partners as well. And it's been incredible to see the buzz and the activation. Something that you may not realize is that $4.9 trillion of IT spend is going through partnerships today. And the vendors out there who are leveraging partners to get to market are the ones who are going to win. Now, the challenge in order to do that is that you need the right tools, you need the right processes, you need the right people to go to market, and you need partner intelligence. And my guest today is someone who is actually leading the charge for partner ecosystem tools to enable the channel and to enable partner ecosystems to be able to do that very effectively. So my guest is someone who I have tremendous respect for. He's an innovator and pioneer in many ways in technology. His name is James Hodgkinson. He is the SVP of 360 Insights Ecosystem, and he was also formerly the CEO and co-founder of a SaaS company called Web Infinity, which was acquired by 360 Insights. So James, thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and just echo your sentiments on this event. You know, we're here from a very lively, energetic hub of partnership leaders, and what's really come through is that this is game-changing stuff we're working on here together, right? So it's pretty exciting.
It really is. Now tell me about what you have set up here and how you established, how you innovated the aggregation of 360 Insights ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been a long journey for me and in channel technology originally and to this point. You know, I started out in the early part of my career building a lot of partner portals and different what we call PRM solutions for large companies, but doing most of this based on building solutions exactly as they needed. And over time you realize that the breadth and depth of the different components of a technology stack that will support not just a channel, but an ecosystem as a whole, it's very significant. So we got to the point in my former company, Web Infinity, where we realized that there wasn't going to be a single platform that could really do all of this. You know, you get to the stage where you're seeing that there's leaders in different categories, so everybody understands they need a CRM system, but there's also a content management system, a learning management system, a rebates management system, a POS recognition system. So the big problem was, how do you bring it all together and start to create technology stacks that can work, as one integrated solution, even if there are a number of different components within this. So a lot of what we're now bringing here, and this is a sort of coming out party for this project really, is bringing those companies, those capabilities, those technologies and services together and making them available to our clients as one integrated solution.
Exactly. And so when you talk about the one integrated solution, the ecosystem is actually in some ways a marketplace, right? Where everyone can come to get advice on which of the platforms are the best for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's more about business priority led. I think far too often in technology, we and particularly in PRM or partner technology, people have bought at the feature function level, thinking, I need a tool to do X and that'll solve all my problems. Actually, the converse is true, really. You need to start more from the business strategy and priorities perspective, and then try to work out which technologies can help support you in executing this. And in particularly when it comes to automation at scale, my technology that we created, that's now the portal piece of this, is about how do you automate experience, right? Because if you have a channel partner in a territory who's selling 3 lines of business, who needs these tools, these bits of content, it's better for them to receive the 5 things they really need in one interface that's easy to use than it is to overwhelm them with hundreds of assets and systems that make no sense to them, particularly if you're asking them to log into 10 different places. So that's the key issue. And then you also have the challenge of, maturity, because different companies at different stages need totally different tools and techniques. And one of the things we're seeing here in real time at Catalyst, which is incredibly exciting for me, is there's a transformation of go-to-market going on. This isn't just now about how do I get partner tech and channel tech that can automate deal registrations. And this is about a shift from a direct sales motion and strategy to ecosystem-led growth. And there's plenty of people smarter than me that have talked about this subject at length. We heard from Jay McBain this morning. There's an amazing book that was written by the CEO of Crossbeam this year, Ecosystem-Led Growth, which I would suggest anybody in partnerships read. But what this is really saying is we're at the early stages of a shift that says all of this motion of selling, marketing is going to be through and with ecosystems. And my definition of an ecosystem and the way we see this at 360 is not, it's just the partners, right? Your ecosystem is everybody that orbits around your organization. That's your employees, your customers, your partners, your influencers, analysts who cover you, board members. All of these folks are part of your ecosystem. So to truly succeed in this era, you need to be able to orchestrate the supply to that demand. So going back to my point about the gold partner in this territory needs X, that's still important, and that's still a very key aspect of partner relationship management. But what about sales enablement or customer enablement or support? Should that be in a different portal with different technologies? Really, we've got to find ways to change the tech stack to support those motions at scale. And that's not PRM, that's not the traditional channel. The channel's still a component for sure, but ecosystem go-to-market is a much bigger thing, and it's going to require a much more integrated tech stack.
Exactly. And it'll help by deciding up front on what your partner tech is. It's going to help you better and more efficiently operationalize your partner program and drive an ROI that's obvious and measure the ROI as well, right?
Well, exactly. And I'll use Partner Optimizer in our relationship as a real world example of this, right? If you're trying to operationalize a go-to-market strategy that requires partners, and you're looking at how do I profile these partners, how do I identify them, how do I create motions of outreach that will get me to the right companies. That's not a feature in a piece of software. That's a company, and it's a methodology, and you have worked on just that one thing and other aspects of that solution. But what I recognize is that companies like Partner Optimizer have got real depth in very specialist capability. But when you take that capability and you combine it with other capabilities and you orchestrate journeys that will speak to all these, sort of micro moments of influence, you can actually help the client then design a truly orchestrated set of tools that work together. And this is what's so exciting to me. We're partnering here with Crossbeam, who do the account mapping, and Structured Web, who do the automation of demand generation content, and Partner Fleet, who do the publishing of partner solutions on the marketplace, right? But it's only when you start to put these different capabilities together and the methodologies and services that will help the clients actually design and implement these technologies to support their go-to-market, then you're onto something. And it's really exciting to do this, with so many great companies.
It really is. And it's a macro impact with lots of micro components. And by having the partner tech that actually does already work together, it reduces any friction there because it makes it easier. You have the experts who already know how to help you do it.
Exactly. And reducing friction, I think, is a key point. And I battled with this a lot in the early stages of trying to prove this thesis at Web Infinity. Is a lot of people were, I like the idea, but I don't want to work with 10 different companies. I'm just going to go and buy a PRM that has all of this. Now, the truth is those PRMs with respect are sort of a mile wide and an inch deep because they have the challenges of how can I be the best at everything? You're not going to beat Crossbeam on account mapping and Sigma on dashboards, So what we've done now with this 360 Insights ecosystem, and why I'm so excited with the pioneering work that we're doing together, is that we're embracing the reality that it will take multiple pieces of technology, but we're centralizing the delivery of that to the client so that they can buy all of this on one contract. They can have one customer success and implementation team that looks at the whole picture. So you're allowing to get the best coexistence between this need to want, one throat to choke, less vendors, less procurement, but the companies are doing the work to bring it together in a way that is truly integrated and is impactful to the go-to-market of the client. Because there's just too little adoption sometimes in these tools. They don't work. People get frustrated. Yeah. I think we're starting to really design to really address that challenge.
Exactly, to reduce that friction. Now, I know that in this morning's keynote where Jay McBain was talking about the need to actually invest in the partner tech. sector because the impact is going to be so substantial. But for those out there who are saying, I don't have enough budget to have everything in partner tech, or I can't get my leadership to understand they're paying for me and my team, but how do I get them to pay for more tech? How do we help them understand it? How do we help the partnership leaders to prove out and provide that, that ROI case story to the senior leadership? Or how much do they really have to invest? Do they have to invest a lot? Or is it really, is it easy to get in? What's your thought on that?
Well, it's a great question. And that's what I said. When you realize you're living in a moment of transformation, you have to recognize it. So the good news is, for the community of partnership leaders, I think the next generation of revenue leaders is coming from here. And if you start to have conversations that involve your CRO and your CMO and your CIO, these are no longer partner budgets, right? Because we're starting to look at this and say, we need to invest properly on enterprise transformation of our systems, which is going to take 7-figure deals, not, can we all get these small, investments around PRM systems or partner technologies. So that wind of change is blowing, and you've seen it, I think, in real time here with the different nature of the audience and the different types of people who are paying attention. Asher Matthews spoke yesterday about getting a seat at the C-suite table to all of the stakeholders. But in the short term, we also have to realize that transformation is still ongoing, and many people don't get it yet. So here there's been all these sessions about how to convince your CRO and how to convince your board. And so it's still going to take a little time for this whole thing to become mainstream. So what we need to do as we're going through that is very similar to what happened in the early movement of sales automation, when sales leaders bought stuff on credit cards to get Salesforce deployed, and the system scaled with the success. So most of our companies are selling more on volume and consumption. So if you've got 20 partners today and 500 leads, it's going to be a totally different level of cost if you scale your ecosystem to 20,000 people. So I think the partner tech companies, of which, we're seeing many of them here, is we've got to find models that allow people to prove value by deploying technology that really delivers results quickly to answer those questions on ROI.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know that just like with Partner Optimizer, the other partner tech companies as well, we provide like revenue opportunity analysis templates, and can walk you through how to understand and justify the ROI and the cost analysis, so that you can demonstrate that any even small investment can result in a very large ROI.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this ecosystematic approach is very helpful, right? Because you have your own value proposition, KPIs, things you can measure against the utilization of Partner Optimizer. But if you combine these metrics and you have multiple providers adding back to a bigger whole, it becomes much more exponentially scaled in the value proposition, because you can say the impact of Partner Optimizer on this workflow onboarding journey, which is also interacting with this tool that delivers the enablement content. That's when you can start to tell not just a better together story, but a real impact on revenue and performance. And that's very applicable to channels, but it gets even more interesting when you apply it to all the ecosystem members.
Yep. So basically, in some ways, you can do more with less by having this integrated tech stack to all collaborate together.
Exactly.
So I know our time is coming to an end right now, but this was great. Thank you for articulating and explaining what this ecosystem orchestration really means, because sometimes the buzzwords get to be a little bit hard to comprehend, but I think we now have a really good idea of what it all is. And James, if you have one little, testimonial for partnership leaders today in Catalyst, what would it be?
I think the biggest thing I could say is kudos to having the belief system to actually understand the change that's coming, to bring people together. The optimism that is here isn't false, right? This is definitely the beginning of something special. And I think everybody who's part of this can feel that energy. So congratulations to the PL team for making this event happen, and for helping these networks really thrive.
Exactly. I think it's seeing the community come together with innovative new conversations, leveraging the modern technology and the future trends it's a special environment to be here. We're very lucky.
It really is. And thanks for your partnership. It's great to be working with you.
James, thank you so much. And, better togetherness.
100%.
All right, everyone. We'll see you at the next episode of Ecosystem